The Galactic Academy's entrance hall hummed with the usual chaos of orientation day. Beings from countless worlds shuffled through bioscanners, their species classifications flashing in neat. Holographic text above their heads, Vraxian, Kaltorian, Ziphrite. The system had cataloged over 10,000 sentient species across the known galaxy, and it had never failed until now. Paul, a junior instructor with silver-gray skin and 3 elegant eye stalks, watched his datapad with growing confusion. The scanner had been cycling for nearly 2 minutes on the same individual, a peculiar biped, with pale skin, dark hair tied back, and the strangest forward-facing eyes he'd ever seen. Undefined species, the display finally read in pulsing red text. Paul's primary eye widened. That was impossible. Every species that had achieved faster than light travel was in the database. Every single one. He tapped his communicator nervously. "Instructor Vellner, we have a situation." The head instructor, a towering Kaltorian with bioluminescent markings, arrived within moments. She glanced at the scanner, then at the young woman standing patiently in the archway, and her voice dropped to a horrified whisper. "Then who authorized her entry?" Angela shifted her weight, offering a polite smile that showed her unsettling flat teeth. "Is there a problem?" "Please step aside, candidate," Vellner said, her translator rendering her alarm into clipped professional tones. "We need to verify your credentials." As Angela moved to the waiting area, Paul couldn't help but study her. She moved with an odd fluidity, her joints bending in ways that seemed both familiar and alien. She carried no visible weapons, wore simple clothes of woven plant fibers, and seemed utterly unconcerned by the commotion she'd caused. Vellner's fingers flew across her command console. "Pull up her application file now." The holographic display materialized, and what they saw made no sense. Angela Chen, origin world Earth, species, human, education, multiple institutions on homeworld. Test scores exceptional. But when Vellner cross-referenced Earth in the galactic database, nothing appeared. "It's not in the system," Paul breathed. "How did she even find us?" More importantly, Vellner muttered, "How did she get here?" FTL technology requires guild certification. Her species isn't even registered with the Galactic Council. The mystery deepened when they accessed the Academy's acceptance records. Angela's application had been processed 6 months ago, approved through standard channels, and flagged as unremarkable. Someone or something had bypassed every security protocol. Designed to prevent exactly this scenario, Paul volunteered to interview her while Vellner contacted the council. He found Angela in the waiting room calmly reading a holographic pamphlet about dormitory regulations. "Miss Chen," he began, settling his serpentine lower body into a coil, "I apologize for the confusion. But we have no record of your species in our database. Can you tell me how you learned about the Academy?" Angela looked up, and Paul felt an odd sensation as those forward-facing eyes focused on him with predatory precision. "We intercepted one of your recruitment broadcasts about 40 years ago. It took us a while to decode it and build a ship capable of reaching you." 40 years? Paul's eye stalks trembled. That's remarkably fast technological development. Is it? Angela tilted her head. "We went from splitting the atom to landing on our moon in about 25 years. We're persistent when we want something." The casual way she said it sent a chill through Paul's chromatophores. He'd studied galactic history. Most species took centuries to progress from nuclear fission to space travel. "Millennia, even. Your ship," he ventured. "It uses standard hyperlane navigation." "Oh, no." Angela smiled again. And this time Paul noticed how her eyes didn't quite match the expression a hunter's calculation behind a social mask. "We couldn't figure out the hyperlanes from the broadcast. We've built something else. Works on a principle we call Alcubierre drive. Bends space-time around the ship." Paul felt his blood chill. Space-time manipulation. The theoretical framework that every species abandoned as impossibly dangerous and resource-intensive. You built that? On your first attempt at FTL? Third attempt, technically. The first 2 ships were lost. She said it so matter-of-factly, as if the deaths of her fellow beings were simply data points in an experiment. Before Paul could respond, Vellner's voice crackled through his communicator. "Bring her to my office. Now. The council wants to speak with her directly." The office was crowded with holograms council members from across the galaxy, all staring at Angela with expressions ranging from curiosity to barely concealed alarm. "Miss Chen," the council speaker began, a gaseous being whose words formed through careful manipulation of photons. "Your presence here represents a significant breach of protocol. Unknown species do not simply appear at our institutions." "I apologize," Angela said, and her voice carried genuine contrition. "We didn't realize we needed permission. The broadcast said the Academy accepted qualified candidates from all species. We assumed that meant us too." "Your test scores are extraordinary," another council member admitted. "Your grasp of quantum mechanics and xenobiology surpasses most graduate students. But we must understand, what does your species want?" Angela was quiet for a moment, and in that silence, Paul saw something flicker across her face. Loneliness, vast and aching. "We've been alone for so long, screaming into the void, wondering if anyone was out there. When we heard your broadcast, it was like finding out we weren't orphans after all. We just want to meet our neighbors. To be part of something bigger." The council chamber fell silent. Finally, the speaker's light pulsed with what might have been a sigh. "Our species bypassed our entire security apparatus, developed FTL technology in a fraction of the normal time, and presumably sent you here on a ship held together by mathematics that terrifies our best engineers." The speaker paused. "And you did all of this because you were lonely." "Yes," Angela said simply. Vellner's bioluminescent markings flickered with something between amusement and horror. "Undefined species indeed," she murmured. "Very well, Miss Chen. Your application is ... approved. Welcome to the Galactic Academy." As Angela left with Paul to complete her registration, the young instructor couldn't shake one thought. If humans could accomplish all this just because they wanted friends, what could they do if they ever wanted something more? He decided he didn't want to find out. Behind them, unnoticed, the scanner finally updated its database. A new entry appeared, flagged in cautionary yellow. Species: human. Origin: Earth. Classification: persistence predator. Recommended threat level: undefined. Status: monitor closely. The galaxy had just met humanity, and nothing would ever be quite the same.